It appears that 3 players have wandered into my table. It appears then it's time for a good old-fashioned dungeon crawl. Welcome everybody to Castle Acrinox. I've been teasing this thing on the Facebook for the past couple of weeks. You guys probably don't have any idea what's going on. What this is we're running 3.5, not Pathfinder, good old-fashioned D&D 3.5. And I made... yeah. I made a dick dungeon, otherwise known as a dungeon that is meant to kill people. A hard, punishing dungeon crawl. In fact, these guys don't even start at the dungeon. These guys start at a wilderness that they have to travel through to get to the dungeon. So it's going to be pretty intense, so stick around as Castle Acrinox unfolds, which is the name of the dungeon. I studied a bunch of old D&D dungeons to get ideas for this thing. Tomb of Horrors, White Plume Mountain, Keep on the Borderlands, Expedition to Barrow Crag Keep. Is that right?
Expedition to the Barrier Peaks.
Barrier Peaks. Although I promise there's no spaceship in this one.
Good, because those are the thickest modules ever published by the company.
What?
But I'm hoping that I'm prepared. I'm not saying this is going to be good as some of the old ones, but it should probably be pretty entertaining. So stick around. Here we go.
Good.
All right. Do you guys want to go around before we start and kind of give a short rundown on your characters and what you're playing?
Sure.
For folks at home. So we can know who's going to die first.
I'm playing Adelaide Burrows. I am basically a knockoff of Bilbo Baggins. I'm a halfling rogue who is not a thief. I'm just a simple halfling of Burrow's End.
And I'm playing Zale the Cloudy. Back in wizard school, Zale had to choose a specialization. He had no idea what to do, so he looked up and he saw the clouds and saw inspiration. So he decided to study clouds, fog, smoke, any form of thicker air. And so now he searches for where clouds grow up, where clouds live, where they are born, and where they die.
And what they do during adolescence.
Yeah, that's true. All stages of the cloud life.
He really could use a cloud atlas for his.
Oh!
And the cameraman gets a point.
Boom!
It's like,
Boom goes the dynamite.
go home.
It's flat-footed without your deck.
Yeah.
Touches without your arm.
Okay.
We should have a laugh
Touch
track.
is 12.
What do you mean? We got.
Do you guys want to go into a bit... Oh yeah, we have a peanut gallery, by the way, just for you. Do we want to go into a bit more of
Don't look at
mechanical aspects of your guys' characters? Like how you built them, specifically? That's what I'd be interested in.
Sure.
Just a little bit. Little snippet.
All right, we're buying time for our good friend who is still adding up.
I see how it is.
this guy.
I'm fine. I'm good.
What do you... okay, go.
Right. So for building Zale, I just went, because it's a dick dungeon, I gotta make a dick wizard. And so I made a conjuration wizard with, 16 pieces of paper?
Good God.
14? And, yeah, I just try to get as much controlling as I can to, dick away the dicks.
Unlike my good friend Peter here, I've been playing Dungeons & Dragons for over 25 years, and I hate pieces of paper. So I was going to play a monk, but then I heard that the party would be killed if we didn't have good balance. So my character is on this half scrap of paper where I scribbled notes.
It's disgusting.
I know, right? It's so
too
small. I'm just a simple halfling. I don't know what clouds do when they're like in their rebellious stage of life. So I decided to just build a guy who has a sword, has some mithril chain, occasionally hides in shadows, and is not a thief, despite what everyone says.
And Nick, what are you playing?
All right. My character is named Tarek the Cleric. Tarek Gemston, and I wanted him to be as thematic as possible with Warhammer and Earth and law domains. And I basically did as much research on overpowered cleric stuff. And they all pointed to the cleric books, which is kind of hard because everyone just doesn't use the regular player's handbook when they're building clerics if those other ones are available. So yeah, I was basically like, what spells would counteract the most dick-worthy actions that I would put in a dungeon? I'd be like, yeah, I had to be things like, all right, so I don't instant death if instant death happens and shit.
Oh, I should let you guys know also, I limited them to only using the original Player's Handbook and the Dungeon Master's Guide for magical items. So we're playing pretty pure vanilla here. I, on the other hand, can use all the books I want.
I hate
so
vanilla.
you You guys will do fine.
You're lying, right? Because
No, I used all the other books.
You know, we published those books specifically using Yu-Gi-Oh principles, so that if you use the other books, the rules are ratcheted up on purpose,
Attack
so
him
that the
again.
CR has become increasingly difficult.
Don't
Attack him
worry.
again.
Don't worry, James. It'll be okay. It'll be all right.
We're gonna die in the
That's
first
why I ran.
instance.
That's
of
why I ran the
combat, and
Vanguard.
It'll be great.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like that, so it's okay.
Fair enough.
All right. So, the beginning of this. Now, a little bit of backstory on this dungeon first. You guys have all heard the audio file I posted, which I'll post on the channel in a couple of days. But just to give you guys some backstory, they are members of a continent that's full of different, kingdoms and countries and stuff like that. But they all kind of have this unified enemy named King Durham, the Infernal King, who this group of people, it's a mixture of elves, dwarves, the race of man, basically, the known world, was conquered by him about 300 years back. And because they tried to defeat him, they sent heroes to crash against his walls. He killed a bunch of people. It was really messy. And they basically left in this mass exodus. Not everybody, but most of the people on that continent left to sail for safer pastures. Sailed across the waters looking for a better home. And 300 years passed. Nobody knew what happened to Durham or the castle he built. Nobody knew what was going on with the guy. Until one day, mysterious letters began to appear to certain kings and churches of the land with a single phrase written in silvery writing. The water of Io rests within Acrinox. The water of Io is a known amulet of supreme power, rumored to have power over life and death. It was said to be the tear of a single goddess who fell in love with Asmodeus and paid dearly for it. So their job, these three brave adventurers, is to journey to Durham's continent, raid his castle Acrinox, and get back the water of Io, and hopefully get out alive. No, it's not happening. They're going to die. Anyway. Also, we would have a fourth player tonight, but Morgan has bowed out because he has to work and he's doing homework. So,
What?
no druid for them. Okay, so you guys have begun.
It's too bad.
You guys have begun your journey along this about maybe 1 week journey to get to this continent, sailing across long, treacherous waters, dealing with whirlpools, sea monsters, all manner of the like. And you fought them off over your journey, and the brave dwarven captain who's led you on this way, which is odd for his race, but he's all right with it apparently. And finally, after a week of hard travel, the continent is in sight. The continent of the Outlands is in sight. Not the plane. Not the plane. Now, as you guys come up, you're about half a mile away from the continent. And Captain Bosun turns to the continent's edge, looking out into the water, smelling the salt air, and goes, "Well, there it is, boys. Good luck to the three of you. I'll send you out in a lifeboat, but I get no closer than this. There's strange magics afoot on that land. I ain't wandering into it. It'll be dangerous for me, and for my crew, to get any kind of expedition on it. Seek out the town of Last Hope near the port. You'll hopefully be able to find some help or respite there before you head off into the woods to journey to the castle itself. And good luck. Remember, everybody back home's depending on you."
Do we get to keep the lifeboat
Yeah,
in case we need it for respite?
You may leave the white lifeboat, yes.
That's a good idea.
Is the ship's bosun named Captain?
That would be silly. It's more of a nickname, actually, because he's a dwarf, so he was always kind of ridiculed, because he used to be, And so they were like, Bosun, and it just kind of stuck.
The captain and I are friends because we're both dwarves.
Yeah, and you guys all know each other, by the way. Don't have to worry about the odd meetups. You guys have bonded over this week-long journey.
Okay. So
You were
there's not
scared.
discomfort of
No. No, you were specifically picked. You know intimate details about each other. It's
I
Ooh.
need to destroy the ring or destroy the amulet.
you're getting
That's
the
my
amulet.
goal is to destroy it. 'Cause it's evil, right?
That would make sense.
Yeah,
Yes, being
I
a
mean,
cleric.
that-
If I live as
I
soon
wanna
as I
make
find
it-
the amulet, I'm swallowing it.
I want to make a cloud out of that water.
However, I should
No,
specify.
it's an amulet.
I should specify.
Oh,
At
it's
Water
water.
of Rio.
least we run into huge problems later, Nick.
Just a bowl of water.
Your job is to get the amulet and bring it back before it's destroyed.
Okay, that makes sense
All
because
right.
I want to prove to the other
Yeah.
members of my church that
So
I
you-
found it.
You guys have set out in winter, because there's only 2 trips that get taken to this continent per year. 2 groups that crash against its borders, and the group that went before you chose to go in summer. So you guys are stuck going in winter.
That sucks.
Yeah, right.
That's a terrible.
So
That's great. There's plenty of clouds in
Why
winter.
not just spring and fall? Those are better.
So you're saying it's winter here now
It is
as
winter
we are
now. Yes. There are subtle ice flows about the water. As light snow falls as you board yourself into the lifeboat. And as Bosun drops you down to the dark waters, you can't help but wondering you feel much better being safe at home in your warm bed. All right. It's up to you guys. What do you do? Row to shore, I'm assuming?
Let's see.
Oh, I mean, like,
So-
do any of us know how to row? It's kind of like.
Well, that should.
That's an assumed
That's
skill.
actually
Okay,
not a
cool.
skill. There
Good.
is a skill, but
Rowing.
it's for like actually running a ship.
Yeah.
So
I
can,
polymorph into a Hydra.
don't use up your
Sure.
No.
and
I-
carry us.
I-
on
I'm
the-
gonna wait
I
to put on my
sit-
armor until we're on land.
I sit in the boat, put the quarterstaff in my lap, and I wait to be rowed to shore.
Cool.
I'm too small to row this boat.
I climb in
so
the back and fall asleep.
hey, that's what Jesus did, and
Okay, no, I'll row.
yeah, you have to row
You
because
chumps.
Not touching that one with the
he's
I
too
guess
good
you
for
guys
rowing, and I'm
are-
too small for rowing.
You're both too frail for rowing.
I'm too frail to row. If I row, I'm gonna
Nick,
like
what's your strength?
pull it myself.
13.
We're the same strength.
But the
He's
wizard,
just too good for rowing.
Wizard is too indifferent to help.
Look at
out.
his
Why
soft
is your
hands.
strength
These are soft
13?
wizarding hands. They've never
Yeah.
rolled a thing in their life.
Wow. Alright.
If I get calluses, it ruins the flow of magic.
And I need my delicate fingers for like safe cracking.
Okay, anyway, I
So,
rose to shore.
Keep going.
Now you guys have warm cloaks that you've been given for the journey to protect yourself
Excellent.
from
Good.
the.
Good.
Yes,
good.
so
I'm
you're
writing that
sufficiently
down.
protected.
I will
yeah.
hum a happy rowing song for my colleague so that he'll row with greater vigor.
All right.
Wait, we had like 20 days worth of rations?
Yes.
Or
20 things
20
of rations.
meals.
20 meals.
20
And you each
meals.
have one a day or go through the next day exhausted.
Those were
One meal a
given
day
to
is the
us.
healthiest way to maintain good like.
Well, a ration isn't just like
A
one
ration is-
meal.
yeah.
It's like it's big enough to it's a 3,000 calorie pack.
Ooh,
Yeah.
wow, that's
Probably
even
not big
better
enough
than.
to eat one a day.
Yeah.
Oh
But
my gosh, it's like 60 units of llama spread.
yeah, whatever the army packets are.
All right. So you guys go
Yeah,
rolling
nice.
off toward the outlands. You row for about maybe 30 minutes. It's about it's half hour rowing. You can still see the ship in the distance. And eventually, your lifeboat just bumps up against the side of the continent. There's no dock, there's no port, there's no nothing. It's not even a shore. It's just a short drop off and then the sea. And you guys just bump up right against it.
Oh, so it is just the edge of the continent.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yikes.
Wow.
All right. I'll get out carefully.
All right. You slowly step out of the boat.
Yeah, I do too.
You guys all step out of the boat.
Yeah.
Wait, is there any place to tie off the boat so it doesn't just flow off into the sea as soon as we get out?
There's a hefty rock about a couple of
Can we
paces
not
to the
just
left.
like lift it out of the water?
Oh yeah. We just
Let's just
yeah.
do that.
These
Yeah.
two guys are strong. They'll lift it out of the water.
It's not
All
that
right,
hard.
give me a strength check.
I'll use my hands.
It's
I
only a
guess.
boat.
I know, it's a heavy boat.
got 13.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, that's enough. So you guys,
Didn't even need the dwarf's help.
That's just spin down counter. That's not a 20 sider.
you guys hoist it out of the water and up onto the ash landscape in front of you. It is snowing lightly as you make your way forward towards the forests. Now, the entire continent around you appears to be covered with these gigantic dead ashen trees.
Oh, damn.
They appear to be a different species and varieties of trees. It doesn't look like they grew together here. Yeah, it's odd. There's like dead pine trees and there's like dead willows and stuff like that, and they're all mixed up together in the forest.
Could I do a knowledge of nature?
Sure.
Do you
Oh, yeah,
have
sorry.
knowledge?
Yeah, plus 19, 17.
Jesus.
Just give me the freaking Peter. What specifically do you want to know?
I want to know what could cause this sort of weird mixture of
Your best guess is deliberate transplanting.
deliberate transplanting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Now,
If only we had a druid who could tell us something about these things. Can we presume that he's throwing up in the boat because he's been nauseous the whole time?
he's just guys. I don't feel like going on the continent today.
Oh, the
yeah,
the
he'll,
druid?
he'll
Yeah.
catch up with us next time when he's like recovered.
All right.
Since he's not here,
We
you can
passed
talk
like a
as
bed
much
and
shit about
breakfast
him
and
as
he
possible.
would not
Yes.
go any further.
It was some bad clams he had along the way.
So you guys make your way forward, and you begin to see just like broken down houses, twisted, huts that were shoddily put together out of wood and stuff. They've been ripped to pieces. Parts have been burned. There's materials like rope, barrels, bricks, rocks strewn about everywhere. Swords are bent and chunked into pieces of woods in the trees. And you've come up, you realized, upon a small little port town that has a sign saying "Last Hope," and it's kind of broken off and hung swinging down. And in the center of town, around a hastily made fire, sits a pale-skinned elf with white shocked hair, and he sits there kind of holding a rapier in his lap. He's missing an eye.
Ah, perfect. I humble over there with my quarterstaff.
All right. As you approach the fire, he looks up to you. Ah, the next party comes through. More lambs to the slaughter. He stands up from the fire. I hope you fare better than the last group that went on ahead of you. It's a dangerous business here, you know.
Alright, well, I'm not in the dying business. I'm in the surviving business. So,
Take a seat, old man. It looks like you're about to fall over dead yourself.
I've been sitting waiting for you guys here for 5 hours.
Would you
I
like
need
a
to
ration?
stand. No, I'm quite
All
alright.
right.
would you like a
I
cup,
want to give him the
would
ration.
you like a cup of water, perhaps? Maybe a back
Would you
rub?
like a little cloud? He's got tons of them.
You folks are much nicer than the last ones who came through here.
We're not like those barbarians who travel by summer.
Exactly.
How do you know what happened to the last group?
I don't. They never came back, so I can only assume the worst.
That's fair.
Now, I am here to tell you a few things about traveling through the forest in front of you. The first is that the castle lays mostly 3 days' journey ahead of you. However, it is a dangerous venture. Going through the forests is a vile and treacherous task. I recommend you not fly high above the trees, for there seems to be some sort of creature patrolling the skies above, and it would be unwise to tangle with it. We've never caught glimpses of it. It is a mysterious aggressor. Also, I would recommend not using any kinds of teleportation spells to get towards the castle. If that were possible, wizards would simply teleport from our continent to this one. The reason we take the ships...
If I might interrupt you, it'd be unwise to teleport to a location you do not know about.
Well,
If no one returns, then no one can teleport back to that place.
fair enough. But I merely warn against the fools who have tried it in the past.
There's no danger of that. We are simple folk. We like to use our feet.
Well, I hope not that simple. Now, would it be summer and it were clear enough to see the spire, I could point you towards it. But as it is winter, it is much too cloudy to see... how do I describe it? A towering black obelisk jutting out of the earth. It would make an excellent waypoint, for it is near the castle and would guide you toward it. But as it is winter, it is much too foggy to discern its location. So I urge you, take heed in journeying through the forest, and be quite careful with where you wander. And remember, always watch when you go to sleep at night, and journey not through the darkness. The trees like to move. And with that, he sheathes his rapier, he turns on his cloak, and he strides away from the fire.
Wait, old man.
Yes.
Before you go, could you at least point us in the direction of the big black obelisk? Because since this is not an episode of Monty Python where I go, you mean that big black obelisk? You should at least give us a direction to stroll in.
I mean,
I suggest you begin at the mouth of the forest. And you can see over there, there's a clearing kind of opening that splits off into 3 separate pathways going into the forest itself. The obelisk lies, and he points, somewhere in that direction, though I cannot be sure. My eyesight is not the best these
Now,
days.
is that east, west, north, south?
North.
North? Okay.
Towards
Now,
the north.
very nice.
what was your name, sir?
My name is Zephiel.
Zephiel. What's your profession?
I am a fighter. I was sent to protect Last Hope and keep it safe from the troubles. But as you can see, I've failed in my duties. A pack of ashen wolves rolled through here a couple of weeks ago and ripped the town to pieces.
Is that something that we should be careful of in the forest?
You should be careful of many things in the
Could you
forest.
describe the Ashen Wolves for me?
Certainly. They are a pack of wolves who are at the same time a massive cloud of ashen fire. A hive mind of power. They will snap and bite at you, surround you in a swarm of specks of dust,
Like
and tear
a
you to
cloud.
pieces.
Coalescing around a person. It's
Yeah.
beautiful, isn't it?
Yes.
I must study them. Where are they?
I do not know.
When do
And
they
I
arrive?
would pray you never run into them.
Yeah, you're gonna see.
Fear not, my colleague. They will find us.
I hope so.
Alright, there's nothing else. I must
Hey, which
away.
of those 3 paths should we take?
I have no idea. The groups who have wandered off into the forest have taken all 3, and there's not always 3 paths when I check the opening. Like I said,
They do like to move.
the trees like to move.
I like that.
Now good luck to you. And he turns and strides off into the mists.
I say we let the fates decide.
Yeah, we roll the dice.
We're gonna take path number 1 on the left.
A wise choice.
If the gods are with us, then we live. If the gods are against us, Then we're injured.
Is your deity the god of luck?
no.
No.
My deity is the god of wandering.
Oh. Well, maybe we should wander instead of trust luck.
We should just let the wind choose our path and float like clouds.
What say you then?
Left?
The wind is blowing towards the
Alright.
opening too? Okay, good.
Then
So-
the gods and the winds have said the same.
Sounds good enough for me.
Cannot be a coincidence. Must be fate.
So you guys head off down the left path. You begin walking through the forest. You notice as you pass into the clearing, into the forest itself, you can see skulls of all manner and shape and sizes, elf, dwarf, human, tied up and tangled within the roots of the trees. The skeletons, or the full bodies of whatever has been eaten or devoured here, have been taken away somewhere. Only the skulls remain. As you walk through the trees down an oddly shaped out pathway that doesn't seem like it should be in this kind of random happenstance forest, you wander for about maybe half a day. It's a long journey, and you come across a sort of clearing eventually. The clearing kind of opens somewhat widely and leads off into two other pathways, one to the kind of left and the kind of right, or like this, if that makes sense. They both still go to the north. Now, also, give me a spot check, everybody. You will roll these, it's just that sometimes I need to roll them myself.
That is a 19 for myself, and a very low for the bat.
Alright,
I got a
A
10.
okay.
That's a 11 for the bat.
That's also a 19 for me.
Oh wait, I need to change that.
You notice nothing at all. Pick which of the two pathways you would like to journey on to. Oh, you need to change your stuff.
I did it wrong.
Shall we trust the fates again?
Can I use a search check in order to look for any possibility of more movement?
Certainly.
That's going to be a 33.
Okay. In addition to that, also I want to ask, do any of you have any ranks in survival?
Yes.
How many ranks?
6.
Alright, never mind. Okay, so,
Alright.
That'll do.
You do not survive.
That'll do it.
it is not sufficient. Alright, you notice a sufficient amount of movement coming from the right path. The feet marks are not, the footsteps you see are not human in any veins. They seem to be paw marks.
So, my friend,
Yes.
if you seek the wolves, I would recommend this path. If you seek safety, the other.
Now, you guys have been
Now-
journeying for about half a day. You don't know when the next rest stop will come.
It would be selfish for me to study the wolves.
I feel like we should, if you're willing to come back and study them another time. I think we are not the best equipped for that. at the
I
moment.
trust in the wisdom of dwarves.
I'm an earth domain, not a water domain.
Oh, aren't you guys enemies?
Mine would be more arid than rather than
Yeah,
water.
actually, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I'm saying for the wolves.
Oh, right.
But yeah, earth and air are opposite.
It's gonna be a plucky comedy duo.
Yeah. It would be like Spock, Kirk, and McCoy all over again.
There we go. There may
I'm
be a
Kirk.
Kobayashimaru in this adventure.
Well then,
I'll be the first to cheat.
we should take the safe path. I'll study these wolves of smoke and ash another day. Right now, it is all about the water of Io.
Io, yes.
Io.
Alright, journey on to the left then.